may not know, I need to start this video off better. Hey, hi, hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things. And today, I'm gonna be reading The Hunger Games. Now, this is a 24-hour read, but I'm taking a page from, I can't think of her name right now because I have not been awake that long, but Allison Pages, where she does these 24-hour reads, except she spreads them out throughout a week, so 24 hours in a week. And I will be doing the same. So I am going to be rereading the entire Hunger Games series. I do own all 4 books. I'm going to start with the prequel, actually, instead of reading the original trilogy and then the prequel. I'm going to start with the prequel. I think that will be interesting. And I'm going to take you guys along for the ride with me. Today is Sunday the 2nd. It is Mr.'s birthday, in case you guys wondered. And right now I'm waiting on my pool to fill up. So I am going to start reading this, and I'm going to sit outside while my pool is doing its thing, and because I'm freezing for some reason. And I will give you guys my thoughts as it appears to me, and I think we'll have a good time. So let's get started with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I am going to be using a timer on my phone. Also, I always track my reading through various apps, but in this instance, I think I'm going to specifically use the stopwatch function so that I can track how much time has been going on since I start reading it, just in case my tracking messes up or the time is wrong or I forget to stop something. This will be how I do that. So let's get that show on the road. Okay, so I am about an hour in, and I reached 101 pages. So based on the timing, one of my apps will break down the expected amount of time that it'll take for me to read the rest of the book. So it looks like it'll take me 3 hours and 52 minutes to read the rest of the book. And I'm reading about 109 pages an hour, so that's good. It means I will make good time probably today. I think I'm going to stop here and make lunch, though. I did obviously move to come inside because the pool finished filling up, but 100 pages in, we've mentioned 14 people by name, and that's not including all of the tributes, and it's not including all of the mentors either, because you do at one point get a list of all of the mentors and the districts that they have, and I didn't feel like writing all of that down. I have used up all of the tabs almost too, so this line and this line are supposed to be characters mentioned by name. This is quotes is the red one, the orange one is relevant information, and I don't remember what this yellow one is. I think it's also relevant information, but relevant information that I definitely didn't write down, if I remember correctly. I think I used one, and I'm pretty sure that it is where I put all of the districts. Yeah, the 10th Hunger Game mentor assignments. So it's more just all of this information combined, and I didn't feel like putting it in a thing. I don't know. I don't normally use my tabs as a legitimate process here, but I am for these books. I think it'll come out kind of interesting. Obviously, I've used a lot of tabs already, and that's mostly because there is 14 characters mentioned right off the bat by name. So it's a little bit like, Jesus Christ. I'm hoping that we don't get too many more. So that's done. I'm gonna make lunch, and I think I'm gonna write some of this stuff down because I want to see how many characters are mentioned again in later books. So I think I'm gonna, I don't know, make a chart or something in my Habanichi cousin for this. But yeah, I'm gonna make lunch. I did want to go to the library today at 1, like before they're open from 1 to 6, but I think that I might skip that today and just read through the day. I haven't decided yet, but we will see what I end up doing. But I'm gonna make lunch, and I will check back in later on this. Okay. So I was very much gonna go to the library and stuff after I ate lunch, and I didn't because I got anxious. Whenever the messaging system for my husband goes down, I get too anxious to leave my house. That's fun. I love that fun trait that I have. So yeah, I did not go to the library. I instead, hold on, let me get this lower. I instead watched the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip or whatever. I watched an episode of that. I am going to keep reading. I'd like to get 50% into this today, if not 100% into this for today, so that the next, so like Monday I can kind of read just Hunger Games, and then Tuesday I can try and read the last 2 books in one instance. I don't know if that's going to be what happens. My goal was to 100% read this book today. I just don't know if I have it in. I don't like this book as much as I like the Hunger Games series, like the rest of them. And I knew that going into this, so that's why I was like, I'm just gonna start with this one so that I have something to look forward to at the end. So I'm gonna get to reading again. I think I'm gonna go for another hour and see how I'm feeling anxiety-wise. If I'm still anxious, I'm probably gonna get back on the couch and relax and maybe like play a video game or something. I would love to go sit outside in the pool that I just cleaned and read. But it's like really humid outside, and that doesn't feel good for my heart. So I will check back in later in a little bit. Okay, so I'm at page 254, 1 hour and 56 minutes in, almost 57 minutes. It is like 5 o'clock, 5:17 at the moment. Yes, when I stopped, or when I like last updated, it was like 2 o'clock, and I said I was gonna read for an hour. I got distracted by my phone, and I was anxious doing other random things. I'm feeling better now, so I might read a little bit longer, but I do need to make dinner. So I might be taking a break here to make dinner. My thoughts so far is that this book is so fucking long for no fucking reason. It is not as good as the original trilogy. And I know that, and I know that's why I'm reading it first. But the Hunger Games, the event, doesn't actually even start in this book until page 200-ish, in the hardback copy, which like, that's so many pages. I don't remember if that's how many. I need to write it down that the Hunger Games didn't start until page 200, because if that's how it is in the other games, in the other books, maybe I'm complaining about nothing, but it feels like a lot of build-up that doesn't matter. But I'm going to write that down and compare and contrast, you know? But yeah, so there's that. I might read a little bit more tonight. I might stop here because this is like close to 50%. I'd really like to read more, but I don't know if I have it in me. This is the book that put me in a reading slump for like 2 weeks. When I read it the first time, and then I have not picked it up again since. It's better, I think, than the first time I read it, but at the moment, it's just now picking up 250 pages in. I'm invested in like the leading up to the Hunger Games, like the forming of the games, more than I am of like what's currently happening. I don't care about President Snow, Cornelius Snow. I didn't care the first time I read this book. I don't care right now. So, gonna go make food now. I may or may not be back. If I decide to read more, I'll be back. But I also need to go get another battery for my camera. Okay, bye! Hello and welcome to my floor. I just read for another almost 20 minutes. Hold on. What am I at in total? 2 hours and 21 minutes for the day out of my 24 hours that I get. I got to page 323, so I actually read quite a bit. The Hunger Games just ended. Spoiler, you're gonna get spoilers if you haven't read this book. The Hunger Games just ended. District 12. Cornelius Snow's girl. I'm definitely saying his name wrong and I do not care. I fucking hate that man. Just won. I'm pretty sure they cheated, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they cheated with rat poison or some shit. But they won. And so District 12 just won the 10th anniversary. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. Who cares? Not me. There's 517 pages in this fucking book. Why are there more pages in this fucking book? I remember getting to this point upon my first read and being like, I do not want to read more. I am content with this. But alas, that is not what's going to happen. Now we get to hear more about the love story between Lucy and Snow, which I don't care about or want, but I will be reading. Also, hello, it is his birthday. Happy birthday. She deeply unhappy about this whole thing. So yeah, I am going to keep reading. I'm going to keep reading because I'm already in the floor, so I may as well. I'll probably read for an hour-ish, maybe another 30 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to just keep reading and see how far I get before I give up for the night. So yeah, I'll check back in later. This video's already gonna be so long. Why did I pick 4 books to read in 24 hours? I'm gonna have to edit this. Nightmare fuel. So, it's almost 10 p.m. It's 9:51 p.m. My husband called while I was reading, so I did not update between those 2 sessions. I did get 410 pages in, which means I have about 100 pages and some change left. I think I can probably finish this tonight. But here's the thing, and this is what I was talking about. See all these tabs and then see where the tabs suddenly stop? That's because I stopped giving a fuck. This is where I stopped caring. This is where I stopped caring the first time I read this book. This is where I stopped caring now. It just is not nearly as interesting. So again, like I said before, I think it will be interesting to see how many of the characters are mentioned again in the Hunger Games, either as a historical fact or just actually making an appearance as an older character. I think that'll be really interesting, but at this point, I just don't care. I just don't care. Now that I do have the understanding that I think that this is a ancestor of Katniss, I am a little bit more, like I do care a little bit more about the outcome. I never put two and two together the first time that I read this book for whatever reason. So I think also the order that I'm reading it in, like this setting up for the Hunger Games trilogy, is a little bit better than how I initially read it, which was reading the trilogy and then reading the prequel, because the prequel had just come out. So yeah. But I think I'm gonna read the rest of it tonight. I'm gonna try to read the rest of it tonight so that I can start the Hunger Games tomorrow. If I can, my plan was to theoretically get to read 2.5 hours every day for the rest of the week, to get to that 24-hour mark. I'm currently at 2 hours and like 40 minutes, I think, maybe 2 hours and 50 minutes. So that's also kind of surprising. I expected this book to take way longer for me to read. It's like almost 500 pages and I expect to take 5 hours to read it, give or take, and I've taken less than that, so that's encouraging. But I do have work tomorrow, so that's the other thing, is that like I work tomorrow, so I don't know how much of the Hunger Games I'm actually gonna get read, but I'm gonna try. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready for bed though now, and I will check back in later. I might, like I said, I might read some more tonight. I don't know if I'll update you guys. Like I might just read it and then go to sleep and update you tomorrow, but we will see. So yeah, stay tuned. Hello. So I did finish Songbirds, yep, The Ballad of Songbirds. 3-star read. I rated it 3 stars upon my initial read. Again, like I said last night before I went to bed, you can kind of see how annoying and disappointing the book kind of gets towards the end. And also the way that Lucy Gray just vanishes is very irritating to me. Yes, we have some character building that makes sense, like why President Snow does certain things in the Hunger Games, and I will see more of that during the, like when I actually go ahead and reread the rest of the series here in a bit, but I just don't like this prequel. I think that if I was gonna read if I wanted a good prequel, I almost would rather it be about Dr. Gohl, which is the head game maker. That lady's like a psycho, just like absolutely crazy. And I think that a book about her would be way more interesting than President Snow, because President Snow is never a good person. He's not a good person as a kid. He's not a good person as an adult. He has full opportunity to become a better person, but then like he betrays his only friend. He is literally a terrible person. There are very few redeeming qualities to this person. And yes, I was saying his name wrong the whole time. It's like Coriolanus or something dumb. And he just had every opportunity to do better and he didn't. And it's not even about being betrayed by a love or anything like that. He just literally had every opportunity to be a better person and he didn't take any of those opportunities. And so I didn't enjoy this book because I don't enjoy him as a character and his internal dialogue and everything. I just find him very frustrating. So I am going to start the Hunger Games, not right now because I've got to work, but in a little bit I'm going to start the Hunger Games. There's some odds and ends that I'm going to give myself like some timed things that I need to be getting done, but I did go ahead and write down all of the characters that were mentioned by name in this book, and then I'm going to write down the quotes and stuff in my field notes, and I will get started with reading Hunger Games. I want to get 50% into Hunger Games today if I can. How many pages is that? I feel like this is a considerably shorter book. 374. I think I can get 100 pages. I can get 160 75, right? I don't know. Almost 200 pages into this. I can do that in one sitting. If I can read a 500-page book spread out throughout the day while only half paying attention, not half paying attention, I was paying attention to the book, but then I think that I can do this. I do have other things I need to do. I think I'm gonna, when I'm filming my vlog updates, I'm gonna just take this card out, and film it on my other memory card and edit the footage that I already have from this so that I do not go slowly insane with the amount of footage that I'm gonna have to edit from this. So yeah, that's my plan. I will talk to you guys later. I hope that you're having a great day. Yeah, we're gonna start on the Hunger Games in a little bit. Hello again. It's time to read Hunger Games. I'm sorry the lighting's really bad. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it'd be this bad. I'd move you guys, but I already put you here and it was like a whole ordeal. So anyway, this is session 9. I'm gonna be reading for the 9th time today. Not today, but on this whole process. So I don't know what's happening to my lipstick, just ignore it. I like smudged it and it's like a whole thing now. Anyway, starting at 3 hours and 13 minutes. I need to put it in all of my book trackers, and then I will get to reading and you guys will get to watching, I guess. I'm really excited about reading this, so. And I'm also glad that I like have the time to read it. I've done edits. I'm uploading a video right now, which means my Wi-Fi's not gonna work great, which is a good thing. It means I'm gonna be distraction free. And yeah, so let's get to reading. Okay, a note. I am 19 pages in, and yes, I do already have to give an update. First off, girly. One thing about Suzanne Collins, she's going to introduce a bajillion characters in the first 20 pages. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters introduced by name already. Like, they are named. And I am trying to keep track of everybody that's named. We already have 6 of them, Jesus Christ. But, interesting. So, in the prequel, they talk about how they're going to erase that Hunger Games from everybody. No, nobody's supposed to know what's going to happen. Like, nobody's supposed to know that that Hunger Games happened because it was an embarrassment, yada, yada, yada. In this, Katniss says, in 74 years, we've had exactly 2 District 12 victors. Only 1 is still alive, and then she talks about Haymitch. But, which I also, that would actually be number 7. Sorry, I forgot to mark Haymitch as the name down. But, I wonder, who's the second one? Was it Lucy Gray? And why are they not saying anything by name? Do they know that it's Lucy Gray? Have they actually had 3? Who is it? What is it? You know? I just want to know. I just want to know. That's it. That's my update. Thanks, bye. Okay. 30 minutes in. I got 86 pages, which is great. That's a good sign. 32 minutes, sorry. That's a good sign. It means that this is going to take me about 1 hour and 49 minutes total to finish, so that's encouraging. I am probably going to read for another 30 minutes in a minute. I just wanted to give a quick update because I have gotten a decent amount in. I'm almost 100 pages in. I'm almost 25% into the book already. One thing about, I already said this, but one thing about Suzanne Collins, these first 2, these are all named characters, and then I'm going to go into the white, I guess. I'm going to go into this 3rd row of white for named characters. We're 13 named characters in the first 86 pages. Miss Ma'am, what are you doing? I'm thinking about getting getting an ebook copy of Hunger Games and sending it to my Kindle and my iPad because I do plan on reading some of these things in the pool. Maybe not today, but tomorrow at least. So I might not want to have a physical book for that, but I'm gonna go back in and tab after I highlight. I don't know. Anyway, just a thought, a side note, a thought. I feel emotionally more drawn to this book than I did the first book. The first book was like, the prequel was like, I already knew I didn't like President Snow. I already knew what he was going to turn into, and I didn't like any of those things. Whereas Katniss is just a 16-year-old girl put in this really shit position. And honestly, on my reread, I'm finding that as I get older and every time I reread these books, I find myself more emotionally drawn to the parentification of these young kids and like being put in this position as a child and how outrageous it is to me to put children in this position. Like when I was a teenager reading this book, I didn't think about those things at all, and now reading them at 28, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, you know? But anyway, I'm probably gonna read for another 30 minutes. I just got a work message and it seems like their message to the wrong person, but I'm gonna deal with that, and then I'm gonna take like a 10-minute break, and then I'll come back and read for another 30 minutes, I think. Hello. I'm taking my makeup off because it's making me feel a little bit crazy, but I want to talk about, yeah. So I'm like 50% of the book now. I read for another 30-ish minutes, and I'm like 170 pages in. Obviously reading this one a lot faster than I was reading the prequel because I'm enjoying it considerably more. And that's just kind of how my reading speed works. If I'm enjoying it, I can definitely get through it pretty quickly. I think if I finish it tonight, I might watch the movie or start the next book. We will see. But, oh, this feels so much better. And I do think I'm gonna finish it probably in the next couple of hours. I'm enjoying it a lot. So I did say I wanted to remember when the Hunger Games started in the prequel and how it started on like page 200 and there were too many fucking pages left to read. I stand by that because the Hunger Games in that book last maybe 100 pages, and then the whole book is like 500 plus pages. Versus this book is a little less than 400 pages, 374 pages total, I think. And the Hunger Games starts on 148 pages in. So around the same time, but I think they last longer, you know? So I don't know. We'll see if that comparison is fair. I do think we're finally done naming hella characters by name, so that's great. I did also do the math, and at this current moment, President Snow should be about 80 years old, sir. So that's kind of wild. I'm waiting to see if more people's names come up. So like Caesar Flickerbottom, well, Lucky Flickerbottom is in the first book. So I wonder how many more of that kind of interaction we'll see. I don't expect there to be like tons of it, but I'm curious to know how much more of it, you know? So we will see. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull my hair up too because I can't deal with this. I filmed and that's good enough. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna read a little bit more. I'm still working, so I'm gonna do some work and then I'm gonna read a little bit more, and I will check back in later. So you guys are probably gonna get more footage of me reading at my desk. Sorry that I don't move a lot during this whole process. I'm chronically ill. I don't need to move a lot. But I am reading way more than I expected, so my face feels so much better. All right, bye. Okay, I finished Hunger Games. I read it in like less than 2 hours, which is a little bit wild to me. I don't generally read that fast. We're currently at 5 hours, 10 minutes, and 49 seconds. I may or may not start catching fire today. I don't know, I haven't decided. But much like the first book, obviously my tab started to diminish a little bit, but that's because the character interested by name is like a really, really predominant thing that happens here, right? I have some errands, not errands, but some home things I want to do before I start catching fire. So I'm going to give Cotter a bath and cut her hair. And then once I've done that, I will probably either watch Hunger Games or start catching fire. I haven't decided yet. It kind of depends on my mood. I'm really enjoying reading like this. I'm enjoying this, like, it's timed and like giving you guys my updates as I was reading. Oh, but what I was gonna say, and this is what I was thinking like the whole time that I was like reading, I was like, I really want to talk about this. I think that the reason that the Hunger Games gets so much more of an emotional response and reaction from me is because, one, the point of view is from Katniss as she's in the arena, and the closest we get with that from the prequel is the 2 seconds that future presidents know is in the arena. And I don't know, there's not a lot of emotional pull. They look at the people participating, the district people participating as zoo animals, a lot of them as like no better than animals and pets, and worse even at some points. And I think that because of that, I felt irritated the whole time versus the point of view and behavior of these are literally children, and the way that people are handling them and reacting to them, literal children, is mind-boggling to me. I also remember early on when I read this as a teenager, I always found the romance thing very annoying. But now that I know a lot about trauma, the romance thing makes a lot of sense. I don't understand Katniss's dynamic with Gale other than that being a romance of convenience. There weren't a lot of options for Katniss. They both were hunting, so they inherently were spending a lot of time together. I don't really understand how most romantic attraction works for straight people, but I guess that makes sense. And for teenagers, that makes sense. But when it comes to Katniss, her feelings towards Gale as time progressed in the games, that's trauma bonding, and that's straight up trauma bonding. And just in the very last little bit of the book, she like talks about all of the things that she wants to say, that it's not fair to him to be mad at her for being confused, which I agree, that he was a stranger to her prior to the games, that she needs to kind of get her shit together, that she hasn't even had time to kind of decompress. Like, she has this whole long paragraph talking about all the things that she wishes she could say to explain herself, because they still have not had a time to really have a conversation. And then also that she misses him and that she's not sure how she's gonna feel without him in the same space as her. That's just straight up trauma bonding. Like, all she's had throughout this time is trauma bonding with Peeta. And I think I understand that better now as an adult, especially as an adult who has had to deal with the fact that I trauma bonded with someone at one point, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good time. So I think that the way that I'm unpacking this now as an adult with a pretty much fully developed prefrontal cortex, is very different than the way that, one, I was looking at it in 2020, which is the last time I read this, and then two, the way that I was looking at it in 2011, 2010, when I read it the first time. I distinctly remember the first time that I read this book. It's very strange thinking about how vividly I remember reading Hunger Games for the first time. And I just moved to Texas and I hated it and I was miserable. And then the second time I read it was June 2020, peak pandemic, my hot girl summer. I was spending every day drunk in the pool in my parents' backyard. Do not recommend was not good. I was not good. And now here I am, sober, but dealing with things, dealing with my own trauma. So I think that I will always have these really specific memories to when I read the Hunger Games series. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give Carter a bath, and she's not gonna be happy about it, but I'm gonna do that, and we'll see if I end up watching the movie or if I end up reading the second book. I'll check back in later. So I was gonna start reading last night, as you saw from the footage of like me with the book. Yay, exciting. I did watch Hunger Games last night, but then I still had some extra time and I remembered like, oh, I have the day off, it'll be exciting. I could stay up a little bit late, but no. They started doing fireworks last night on the 3rd, not the 4th, not Independence Day. And I find fireworks triggering. And so does my cat, and so does my dog. We collectively don't do well with fireworks. Usually, I'm fine because I usually have my husband. I did not in this instance, so I didn't sleep well, and then I woke up this morning and I have a migraine. We love a migraine. So I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna write some of the quotes down from the Hunger Games into my field notes. And then I'm going to try and start catching fire, but I don't feel good. My head still's killing me. I took some medicine, so we'll see if I get to reading. Right now I'm just watching Summer Camp Island and dying. So we'll see. We'll see if I end up doing everything I had planned to do today. Also, I wanted to be in my pool today, but it looks like it's gonna be cloudy and humid all day, so I'm hoping that that passes, so that I can get in the pool at the very least. I put my bathing suit on, so we'll see. So this is not a very good start to catching fire. Not a very good start at all. We shall see. Hello, this is the lighting. Hold on. Where do I go for this? Better. So it is currently almost 7:30. I've read for 30 minutes. I'm like 100 pages in. I just don't want to read today. But the sun finally came out at 7:30. It's no longer behind clouds. I mean, at the moment it's currently behind a giant cloud, but I'm going to get in my silly little pool. I'm gonna light this thing to keep bugs from eating me alive. I'm gonna turn on the Alexa to listen to some music. I've got the cat out here to defend me from bugs. He's not gonna defend me from bugs. And I have some ranch water margaritas that I will be drinking. Here's hoping that I get some reading done today. I want to get at least 50% into this. I was like all prepared to get 100% into this today, and I just cannot make myself read. So we're gonna get in the pool and give it a go. You know, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Good morning. It's the 7th. I didn't read the last 2 days because I didn't feel well, as noted here. So I was supposed to basically be done with all of this literally by the 5th. It's the 7th. I just finished catching fire. Anyway, moving on. This is the life of being chronically ill, and this is why I spread this out across several days because I knew some stupid shit would happen, and it did. I got sick, really sick. It happens. It's fine. I love being chronically ill. Anyway, I finished Catching Fire this morning. It took me a total of 2 hours and 33 minutes to read. I also fucked up my timer and reset it, so I can't show you that. That was fun. Little footage that you guys were getting, that's gone now. Been no more of that because it's gone. So great. But I have at least been writing down total reading time so I can write that, you know, so far I've read for 40 minutes or something. Yeah, 42 minutes to finish the last little bit here. This book has middle book syndrome, right? I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed there's a lot going on here that I enjoyed, but it definitely has middle book syndrome. And by that I mean it's setting things up for a lot. So yeah, the difference between this book and the first 2 books that I've read is that a lot of the character introductions happen in the middle of the book, and the Hunger Games doesn't start until like the last 100 or so pages of the book, versus it happening just sort of in the middle of both books. So it was a lot of prep work for the rebellion that's going to happen in the next book. Do I love that? Not really, but some interesting things as I'm rereading this now as a 28-year-old. Suzanne Collins does a good job of reminding us that Katniss is only 17. She throws it in every once in a while, and I'm like, holy shit, this person's prefrontal cortex isn't even done being developed. That's terrifying. So the boys are making me irritated. And I think they made me irritated the first and second time I've read this book, where they're like, but what about me though? Don't you love me, Katniss? And Katniss is out here like, when do I have time to think about my feelings for you? They're fucking making me the mascot for a rebellion I didn't ask to be fucking a part of, alright? When do I have time to think about romance, okay? I'm trauma bonded to this bread boy, who admittedly is the better boy than Gale. Gale fucking sucks. Anybody who's Team Gale is an idiot. Gale is good as a brother character, as a like childhood best friend turned brother character. He's not good as a romantic partner. He's selfish and brooding and not very good at supporting Katniss during her literal trauma. And Peeta is the sweetest, bestest boy, but also Peeta and Katniss are trauma bonded heavily. I also will say in Hunger Games the movie, they make Peeta seem like this romance thing is a calculating move. And they make him seem like, oh, the Capitol is so cool and beautiful and pretty. Also, Katniss gets on my nerves. And that's not at all how he was in the Hunger Games book. And I think that distinction is really important, and I think it's really interesting that they did that. So I'm gonna be interested to see when I watch the movie what they do with that. So I'm probably gonna watch that tonight. I am gonna start Mockingjay and read it throughout the day. I may or may not, though, do that via audio so that I can get work done, just because I want to make sure that I get it read during my 7 days that I've given myself. So I may do audio for a little bit for this, so you won't get that footage, but I am going to start the book soon, shortly. So yeah, we're almost done. We're in the home stretch. We're in the home stretch of this video. So I got 330 pages in. I've done like 3 reading sessions today, right? No? Yes, 2 words of Mockingjay. I've gotten 3 reading sessions in today. I would say I have about an hour left, but I have a meeting at 1 and it's 12:50. I did do some reading with my ice while I was on lunch, as you guys saw. I expect, though, to finish the book probably in less than an hour because there's only 60 minutes left. 60 pages left. So I expect that to not take too long. I have not tallied up the total time read out of 24 just yet, but I will do that in a minute. Considerably fewer tabs in this one, and that's not because I'm alternating between listening and reading. I'm tabbing as I'm listening. It's that I don't know. I know everything's coming to a conclusion, but there's just so many moving parts that's happening in such a short book, like in less than 400 pages, and I almost think this book would have benefited being an adult book. Like, I almost think the third book should have aged up one, and been a little bit longer, or been split into 2 books and aged up one. I mean, the movies did, so I don't see why this couldn't. Because once we get to the PETA rescue, things just kind of are crazy from there, and the PETA rescue happens kind of later on in the book, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this now. It is about 56% into the book, I think, that it happens, but it's still, I don't know. I will say more when I've finished the book. I think I need to hold my thoughts until I finish the books. So, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go. I've got that meeting, like I said, and I would like to read and edit, and then I can close out this video and we can be done with it, but we will see. But I gotta go. I will talk to you guys, later. I'll do an update after I'm done reading. Hello, hi. It's Sunday and I'm ready to close this video out. I did finish Mockingjay on Friday. I just simply did not update. And then Saturday I had visitation, so I simply did not update. I rated this 4 stars. I rated the second book 4 stars, and I rated the first book 5 stars because The Hunger Games is still an incredible book. But I have now reread all 4 Hunger Games books in a week. I took a total of 9 hours and 13 minutes to read all 4 books. Friday's reading session ended as a total of 4 hours and 20 minutes. So that was actually my highest reading day total. Prior to that, I think it was like 3 hours or something. So Friday I did do the most reading that I had done all week. I do think I got a little bit burnt out. I think if I was going to do a 24-hour reading thing again, it would probably be focused on like 1 book, or which would really just be like a 4-hour reading session depending on the length of the book, or like a series with less books. I don't know. I think I got a little bit burnt out on them by the time the ending came. I think the other thing that I fucked up on was that I was only reading these books. I was not reading anything else, and my little ADHD brain does not like that, does not find joy in that. And so I'm not gonna do it like that next time. I do have more of these planned though, especially with how much fun I've had filming this for the first time. This has been a lot of fun. I will say, this book is still terrible. The Battle of Songbirds and Snakes is still boring and horrible and terrible. However, the way that some of the references to snow in these books ties in here, incredible. I knew Tigress was in these books. I just could not remember where. And her transformation from this book to this book, I want to know what happened. I want to know how she became someone who was against snow. I want to see how all of that happened. I'm more interested in Tigress's story than I am Snow's story. I'm more interested in the Game Master's stories than I am Snow's stories. I am not interested in President Snow. I find him boring and horrible. He's a horrible, slimy little man who deserves nothing good in life, and reading a book about a horrible, slimy... He's not even morally gray. He's bad. He's a bad person. But I did it. I did it. So, I'm gonna edit this video, put it all together. It's gonna be way too fucking long. It's gonna be like an hour long. I already know, and I'm sorry in advance. But, yeah, I'm really pleased with this process. And then we've got our tabs here. Neat. And they match the covers, so that's fun. Those tabs are from Girl in Red. I love her shop. I love her stuff, so highly recommend. I will talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you did, or if there's other ways that I could have done this video that would have been more fun for y'all. If you did enjoy this video and you've never been here before, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you didn't enjoy this video, I'm sorry. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, unless I'm taking a break. And that's it. I will see you guys later. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.